All right, good evening. Welcome to the January 13th regularly scheduled council meeting. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. Please forgive me for my voice. Haven't found it yet, but we're going to make it through. This evening, I'd like to welcome Nathan Guy, the preaching minister for Westside Church of Christ, who will be leading us in our invocation in just a minute, along with Jacob Hale, who will be leading us in our Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand for the invocation followed by the pledge.
God, our Father of mercy, we're thankful for good government. We're thankful for these good men and women who serve the people here. We're grateful for all the ways that you've blessed our city through their efforts and by your bounteous hand. God, we ask you to bless these people who have incredible love for the city and the county. Give them more and more wisdom and discernment as they seek ways to help people made in your image. Father, may you continue to bless the city of Searcy and White County. May all that we do and say bring honor to you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Prior to the council meeting, we will have 2 public hearings this evening. If you plan to speak during one of these public hearings, please come to the podium, write down your name and your address. The first public hearing is concerning approving amounts of liens to be certified to the White County Tax Collector against certain properties as a result of grass cutting expenses and abatement of other nuisances. This public hearing is now open. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Seeing none, this public hearing is now closed. The second public hearing is regarding the Coast to Coast property, and this public hearing is now open. Is there anyone here to speak on the Coast to Coast property?
Mayor, I'd point out that I've personally spoken to the family. The owner of the property has a court date in Searcy District Court on Thursday. They are aware of tonight's proceedings. I hand delivered a notice letter to the gentleman spoken on behalf of the property, both in court and here in the past. So they are aware. He told me as recently as 30 minutes ago that he wasn't going to be here tonight. He once again told me that he thought that they were going to have the property sold. So I just wanted to relay all that to the council. And then
Okay.
I didn't know if that was now was the time or if it was appropriate when we got to the agenda item. But
Sure.
that's what I thought.
Thank you. We have that noted. Anyone else to speak on the Coast to Coast property? Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. And then we have the council meeting. We'll call that to order. Jason, please call the roll when you're ready.
Mr. Morris.
Here.
Mr. Howell.
Here.
Mr. Cargill. Here. Mrs. Hale.
Here.
Mr. Rainey.
Here.
Mr. Brewer.
Here.
Mr. Schallenberg.
Here.
Item number 3 is a request to suspend the rules and add the agenda item number 6, approval for the mayor to solicit bids for the demolition of the Coast to Coast property.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Rainey, second by Mr. Schallenberg. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Howell.
Yes.
Mr. Cargill.
Yes.
Mrs. Hale.
Yes.
Mr. Rainey.
Yes.
Mr. Brewer.
Yes.
Mr. Schallenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Here. Yes.
Item number 4 is the approval of minutes from the December 9th, 2025 regular meeting and the December 18th special meeting.
Mayor, I've read both sets of minutes. They're very adequate, very well written, and explanatory of the meetings. Motion to approve both sets.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Cargill. The motion was by Mr. Morris, the second by Mr. Cargill. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Cargill.
Yes.
Mrs. Hale.
Yes.
Mr. Rainey.
Yes.
Mr. Brewer. Mr. Schallenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Mr. Howell.
Yes.
Item number 5 is the treasurer's report. You should have that in your packet.
Wanted to kind of give you this sort of a blanket to lay over the Blancet report that you got the other day. The The first page that has the fund balances in the 12/31/25 column will be sort of what it's going to look like to mirror all of the transfers that after we've gotten the emergency reserves out of the general fund and the project reserves into their proper account. And those are more reflective of the balances. The general fund at 11.3 is essentially what I've been reporting to you, close to that amount every month as your uncommitted money. And so that's gonna be reflected that way from now on, when I do that next month. I've included in there for you the fully funded listing of the reserves, that I completed at the end of December, and the transfer of the project money, after we've updated these projects, that has gone into the Fund 14 that we're gonna use to pay for those, and that is now segregated, as of today, I believe. Giving you a sales tax sheet, shows you the sales taxes for the past year, and then a fund balance for all the other funds, that we have in aggregate. Entertain any questions if anybody's got any.
Jason, I really appreciate all the hard work you've done for this budget year and these reports. They're very helpful.
Whatever I can do to make it better, just let me know.
Any other questions from the council?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jason. Item number 6, request for approval for the mayor to solicit bids for the demolition of Coast to Coast property.
So moved.
We do have a comment, Mr. Moore?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
get the
okay,
show on the road.
okay. I thought you were raising your hand.
I will say this though, everybody, I was just reviewing the agenda. I wanna make sure that this is, the motion is accurately reflected. The public hearing was on the condemnation of the property, which gives the city the authority to remediate the issue. I believe the resolution needs to be, there is not a resolution later. We need the resolution and it needs to be an ordinance that actually affirmatively condemns the property. And then we also need to solicit bids because it's going to be in excess of the procurement
Right.
amount.
So at this time, we're just gonna solicit bids so we know how much it's gonna cost. And then,
Or do we need the ordinance entered first?
That's well, we can solicit bids, but why don't we do this? Why don't you entertain Mr. Rainey's motion to solicit bids?
okay,
And then after y'all voted, we'll have some discussion about the ordinance.
okay. All right, so we do have a motion to solicit bids from Mr. Rainey. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a second from Mr. Cargill. Any further discussion on this? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Hale,
Yes.
Mr. Rainey,
Yes.
Mr. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Schallenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Howe.
Yes.
Mr. Cargill.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna leave the floor open if you want to discuss more about
Now,
that.
there needs to be an affirmative action of the council. I mentioned ordinance, I believe it can be a resolution that the property be condemned and the city, if it's not remediated within 30 days, the city has the exercise to execute its authority to remediate the nuisance.
Can the resolution be in the form of a verbal resolution
Yeah,
vote?
That would be more than appropriate.
Okay, so we need to suspend the rules and add the agenda item.
And I'll reiterate to everyone, you've already done this once on this exact property. We're doing it a second time out of an abundance of caution because we are facing the very real decision point, it could be in the February or March meeting, of actually voting to expend money to demolish a property. So just out of an abundance of caution is why we're doing this a second time, just to be respectful of the irrevocable or you can't, once we go through the demolition process, there's no going back to that.
Okay.
Will that be done, if I'm understanding, will that be done in the February meeting or?
February or March. I mean,
February or
we gotta
March, but in the-
solicit- we
in the-
gotta solicit
in the
bids
future.
and publish all that, we gotta make sure that we do that appropriately. And then I could, with the short month and the way things are coming together, I
Right.
can see it being March before we do that. But the letter that will go out tomorrow will give them 30 days and notify them that for the second time, the city council essentially has condemned the property. It will list the nuisances, it will give them time, and then if, not on wood, we've been told this before, but if they do get it under contract to sell, I will report back to you all, and we can obviously wait and see if it's sold, and if the buyer has intention to clean the property. So I entertain a resolution from the council to condemn the property, put them on 30 days notice, and then we will reconvene at a later date after we know how much it might cost to.
Mr. Moore, I appreciate your comment about an abundance of caution, because just like a tree, if you cut it down, you can't grow it back. So I appreciate it very much.
Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rules once again to add an additional agenda item, which would be agenda item number 18, to have a resolution to condemn the coast-to-coast property.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Cargill.
Second.
Second by Mr. Rainey. This is to suspend the rules and add this agenda item. Any further discussion on that? Please call the roll.
Mr. Rainey,
Yes.
Mr. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Schallenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Howe.
Yes.
Mr. Cargill,
Yes.
Mrs. Hale.
Yes.
Okay, so that adds agenda item number 18. If the council's okay, so we can put this behind us, let's go ahead and move to agenda number 18, and I'd entertain a motion to condemn the coast-to-coast property.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mrs. Hale. Ms. Rainey, is that a second?
Yes.
Second by Mr. Rainey. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Schallenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Howe.
Yes.
Mr. Cargill,
Yes.
Mrs. Hale,
Yes.
Mr. Rainey.
Yes.
Okay, Will, thank you for walking us through that. We'll go back to item number 7, which is regarding the de-annexation request that was discussed at the agenda meeting. My understanding is since the agenda meeting and then tonight's council meeting, you have some due diligence concerns. So Will, you want to talk through that?
Yeah, so my recommendation to y'all would be to not take action on this tonight. After the first time I'd seen all the documents was Thursday, and I give Mark Lane a big shout out too. He's been very helpful in at least getting us to a point where we can kind of know who's on first here. So this is very roughly thrown together, but in purple is the property that you all voted to detach sometime in approximately 2024. The green boundary is what we estimate is the municipal boundary as of today, and I'll tell you why I use the word estimate momentarily. The yellow boundary is what is the two property owners that were here on Thursday night. The two red piece of tracts of property, I'll speak in them collectively. One of them may have something unique, but if you were to go ahead and move forward with detachment, it would create those two islands. And obviously, that would be against the annexation and detachment spirit of the statutes. And so we need to back up and punt and see if these property owners can communicate with their neighbors, see if everybody can come and entertain the discussion. And we've got their contact information, we will follow up with them. The second thing is that there was, in what they provided Thursday night, the Goodwin property owner did provide a certified plat, which is a requirement of the statute. The other property, there was not a certified plat. We just need to make sure that we've got it buttoned up. They did provide a legal description, but we need to make sure that the submission was correct. So my recommendation is you guys just don't take any action. We'll communicate with the property owners. I think this is all gonna land in the same spot, but we just need to make sure that we go the correct direction. And I also spoke with County Judge Lisa Brown, who was very helpful today, and she confirmed that the purple tract had in fact been detached and wasn't in the county. And so that is my update, and I think that, again, we can probably circle back in February or March.
And there's nothing communicated from the property owner or owners that says that this is like an immediate rush deal, right? So it's before the council, but there's time to get this buttoned up.
That's right.
Okay, is the council okay to go ahead and table this for now until we get everything in order? All right, thank you, Will.
Is that good with you, Mr. Medler?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you
You're
understand?
on this tomorrow, Mr. Medler.
I'm on the very north end of the property, so, I mean, there's one in between Jason and I. So, I don't know how that would affect her, but since I'm on the very north end of the property.
I will, you were, after we do the events of tonight, you're on my list to call in the morning, so we'll discuss and make sure that hopefully you can help us out with your neighbors too, and we go from there.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Moore, what about the Simpson property? Have they requested to be detached?
No, I'm not aware of that.
But it's currently in the corporate city limits, correct?
That is correct, and I believe if, after the dust settles on all the people that have talked to some government entity about detachment, they would be the only property owners left. Their neighbor to the, what would be the east there, has at least spoken to the county for sure, and potentially, we're definitely investigating that, but they may have expressed interest in detachment as well.
And their property is adjacent to the Game and Fish Commission boat launch ramp, correct?
I have no idea.
Looks smart.
It is.
Okay, we'll pick this back up. Thank you all very much. Item number 8 is the approval of the tree board appointments. We have a motion to approve by Mrs. Hale.
Second.
Second by Mr. Cargill. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Schallenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Mr. Howe.
Yes.
Mr. Cargill.
Yes.
Mrs. Hale. Mr. Rainey.
Yes.
Item number 9 is approval of the governing body procedural changes. There are none. We're going to continue operating as we did in 2025. We have a motion by Mrs. Hale. Mr. Schallenberg, is that a second?
Yes.
All right, second by Mr. Schallenberg. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Schallenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Mr. Howe.
Yes.
Mr. Cargill.
Yes.
Mrs. Hale.
Yes.
Mr. Rainey. Mr. Brewer.
Yes.
All right, item number 10, Riverside Park Master Plan presentation. We've got some guests with us. Richard's going to introduce them here in just a second. Before we get going, I just want to reiterate how blessed we are in Searcy to have really the best of the best architects and engineers working on our projects. The groups that we're going to introduce you to tonight, Moda Studio and EDG, have been a joy to work with. I think you're going to see and hear their level of creativity and expertise, but they're really in tune with how to make something really unique and special for our region, not just Searcy, but in Central Arkansas and really this region of the United States. I know our team's been, we've really enjoyed working with y'all, and we're excited to see what y'all have put together. So, Richard, take it away.
Yeah, just to update you again where we're at. So we have representatives from Moda Studio as well as EDG, Martin Smith with EDG, to give you a presentation on the master plan on where we sit right now. We're working on a trail design with our trail builder. Rogue Trails is out there right now, about 90% of design completion, which again, they're hoping to have us a cost number by the end of the month with the design complete. And then once we know that number, we can back off and then look at the phasing that Modus and EDG is putting together for us to see what the rest of our bond dollars are going to try to fund. So they wanted to come and present to you all kind of where we're at, both with the boat launch. If you remember, they're going to talk about a boat launch, which was part of our grant project, those grant funds from RDOT, as well as in the master plan for the bond funds. So I'm going to turn it over to these guys and listen in.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. We appreciate you letting us come and talk a little bit about our process. As you recall, I was here a little over a year ago talking about the starting of this process. And Mayor, we agree. It's been a pleasure to work with you guys as well. We've had a lot of meetings. We've had some workshops over the last year with different interest groups into the project, into this area. And through the grant piece, we're trying to boost up the boat launches as well. So we've got kind of both the master plan, as Richard said, as well as the boat launch project kind of going simultaneously through the process. So myself, I'm Josh Siebert, if you may have missed my name, Michael Pope with our office at Moda Studio as well, and Martin with EDG. We're just three of many people that are representing the project, but tonight we get to talk a little bit about our process and what does that mean, what does that look like. Early on in the process, we came out, we droned and spent time studying kind of the ecology of the place, understanding where the boat launch potential would be and what does it look like currently in its current state, how could it grow and change, and what does this start to become, how does the components of the grant start to play into long-term growth, and how do we boost up a place. And that's really what we're trying to do, is make place making. We're trying to build a place where people can recreate, spend time with families, visit, draw in interest into this region, start to become a place where people are going to come. They're going to seek out opportunities here to mountain bike, to climb, to camp, to spend time on trail, hike, fish, kayak, all of these things. And so there's a whole experience that we want to draw light into for Searcy, and what does that look like. So again, we've spent time kind of studying in its current state. Obviously, this is in the spring when the leaves are full. And then what we started to do is, as we looked at that RTP grant, for us, it gave us an opportunity to study what does it look like to come down the river on a kayak. What does it mean to be here? What does it mean to go from 50 miles away to here? What does it mean to go upstream to here? What does it look like on a day-to-day basis? So we started to earmark places that we felt, a place where you come off the river, a place that you could go up, use a restroom, you could meet up with a group, a place where all of these different armatures would allow us to kind of come together. That was part of the accessibility grant. So the ADA access to the river is really paramount for what we're trying to do. At the same time, we're sticking to budgets and trying to do a good job of creating low impact, but at the same time, maximize what the structure can be. We always start our process with precedents or dreaming, ideas and thoughts. You'll recognize a few of these. Some you might not. This is Garvin Woodland Gardens down in Hot Springs that we did. This is a Kohler in Bentonville that we've experienced as well with EDG. And these are some just kind of structures that start to represent just that, material in the landscape, that it gives people kind of ideas and this kind of movement and shade and closure. At the same time, a place to play. If you think about being a kid on the river, what does it mean to be there and have fun and be excited about being there? So we start with precedents, and then we always go towards sketches. So we sketch a lot. We try to visualize through the sketching form. That is a part of our process that is inherently like we breathe. We try to think through those designs. And so we started with sketches and thinking about an area that had closure, that gave us an opportunity to create that armature that would not only be from the river, but what leads us to the next thing, which would be going up the hillside or going over to the climbing opportunities to give you a threshold into the bigger place. And so these sketches were just kind of generative sketches as we went along in that boat launch piece. So we shared these throughout the process and then started modeling up what does that portal look like. Why is that important? We want a marker in the landscape. We want a place where people say, meet me at the boat launch, and they know. And this goes back to a bigger question of what is this new name? What does Riverside start to become? And we've got kind of an inside bet who can name it and it sticks. I'm still after a pair of socks that have been promised if we name it correctly. So this this portal in Boardwalk is really important. Obviously, to be a clean place, a place where people would have fun. There's going to be some function behind it. As I said earlier, a restroom, but also the riverbank terrace where people would be able to kind of engage and have that ADA accessibility. This is just a quick little sketch and rendering. And then we want to make it cost effective. So we think about materials and constructability in a way that helps add to the overall syntax of the bigger picture. What does it feel like to be there when you're camping? What do those spaces look like? What does it feel like to have some of the other architecture on the bigger Riverside components? So we want to design this first piece, the boat launch, out of things that are easily accessible and easily maintained. So these are just sketches about what is the 2x, what does the raw material look like, so that it is easy to construct. This is a site plan over the boat launch. You'll notice the trailhead that takes you on to the hiking and the climbing. This piece takes you back to the portal, into the porta potties. And then these are just some renderings of what it will look like in place. So as you can imagine, the parking area starts to shine some light onto where people would meet up. Just some views, again, some wayfinding, some moments to sit down and relax. You pull out your kayak or canoe. You're able to go up and have lunch, so it's a nice, cool place for people to be able to do that. And then you can start to see how it starts to connect, both through apertures like a window down to the water, but also a visual connection down to the launch. A few more views. what it'd feel like to be there, again, to get out of the sun at times. And what does it feel like to pull up in a canoe, looking up at the portal, and then having that accessibility moment. Just one or two more views here. And so this was kind of the first phase that had a deadline with the grant application. We wanted to nail this down, and we're very, very close in getting this buttoned up per the grant's requirements. But we're also at the same time thinking about the bigger picture, thinking about what other things. And Michael is going to start to talk a little bit about that bigger picture, as well as start to dive into what Martin has been studying, as well from a hydrology standpoint and overall master plan, getting all of the things correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Michael and let him kind of talk a little bit about that.
Thanks. So I'll go pretty quickly through this front end because we've created it as two presentations, one for the boat launch and one for the master plan. So some of these drone shots you've already seen, so we'll go pretty quickly, but these are some of the images we took of your site currently as it stands. Just to really, those images are for us, just, we're not from this place, but we want to show you that we're studying it and we're trying to understand it. We're trying to understand the culture, the people, what does this place mean to Searcy? Because the more we understand, the better the intervention can be. So these are all just our research front end, trying to understand the river, Searcy, and where it lies in its context. And Martin will speak more to this here in a minute, and I think he has some great insights. And a lot of these slides are from the first master plan that EDG did years ago. So we're piggybacking off of some of the work that's already been done for this place. Studying your city, possible connections, how does it connect to the whole, and how does the community access this place. You can jump in at any time if you need to, Martin. And so this is all work that was done previous in the last master plan, and this is the master plan that was for this place that EDG had done when we started to work on the project.
Michael, do you mind to go back a couple of slides
Sure.
that shows that right there, this trail, right, this water trail? I think this is really important to understand.
And I think we have another slide coming up that
Okay.
might be.
No, that's why I didn't want to get caught up
Okay.
there. I think we're gonna come back to that. Matt.
Okay.
I'll cover it.
Yeah.
A lot of these images are back, I don't know, probably like 6, 7, 8 years ago when we were writing some initial planning drafts.
Yeah.
And
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
When you say boat launch, we're just talking about like kayaks and canoes. We're not talking about a ramp in there that someone's gonna back a trailer down there?
There is one
with a
currently.
motorboat?
There is one currently.
there's one currently, and it'll stay unchanged.
So what we're looking at with the boat launch is how do we improve the amenity that's already there and make it and improve the access for the community. So ADA accessibility to the river's edge is one component of that. But then also, as we look at the master plan and we look to introduce a lot more people to this natural space, how is the natural space not degraded as people come and start to use this? So one of the things that we're doing with the boat launch is creating a river terrace and armoring that river's edge so that in a sustainable way, people can interact with that river's edge without degrading the riverbank and causing harm to the place that you ultimately want to go and enjoy. Does that answer your question?
I want to add to that, Michael. 6, 7 years ago, I went along with Daryl Bowman, along with Little Red, to look at with Arkansas Game and Fish, how can they revitalize their existing boat launch areas all up and down. Therefore, individuals that have pickup trucks, trailers, and boats, right? So we were looking at creating more of an outdoor recreation piece. How do you turn those existing ramp areas into day use areas for more outdoor recreation, floatability, canoes, kayaks, day use from point to point? So we see this access point is adding to that amenity, not modifying it or taking it away at all that exists today.
Got a question for Mike. The boat launch there, ramp and the area there, is that maintained by the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, or is it city owned and operated and maintained by the city, do you know?
I believe it's city operated. That might be
It's
correct.
maintained by us, but it's a game and fish access, but it is maintained by us.
I think it's just some simple lease or something that's put together, for the only one type of access that Game and Fish has.
Where, may I ask, where is this additional launch, to be located, or your recommendation?
You know, if you're down there, you drive down and turn around and back in, there's like a little plateau, almost like a mud flat that's a little bit higher. And then we're playing with the water, as we all know, that river fluctuates greatly, so creating different terraces so we have the most amount of usability. Maybe one terrace is underwater, but there's still an area above. It's a tricky challenge.
So the boat launch that you have there currently, we're not adding another one, we're just improving the one that you
Oh,
have.
you're only improving the,
Yes.
okay, I misunderstood,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
improving the current boat ramp, okay.
The boat ramps will stay the same. This is more for just pedestrian and kayak launches and things like that.
So it's gonna be at that location?
That same location,
Okay,
yes, sir.
good, that's far enough upriver.
Yes, sir.
It needs to be, because, I think everyone that's ever used a boat has had a situation where the motor didn't start, you had some
Sure.
other problem. And if you're down toward that dam and the water's really rolling, you could be in trouble. So
Yes, sir.
that's good.
So we're still working through on these slides, some of the early master plan efforts. And then here we started to look at the bluff line that's there, looking at precedents up in Northwest Arkansas for some rock climbing amenities and what that could potentially look like here in Searcy. And then, as Josh said, we like to sketch and start to imagine what this place could be, looking at different portions of the overall site as we prepare to get into master planning, some programming groupings of activity types, whether you're on the edge, whether you're at the boat launch area, in the flats, amongst the woods, mountain bike areas, and how those start to work together. Also looking at a new entry from the south that would give better access to the city rather than having to come in the current access point, public access is from the north. We're proposing a new entry that would come from the south in the master
I've
plan.
heard more excitement about that than a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't wanna go up there and
Yeah,
drive around.
Definitely,
and come
yeah.
down.
I think it's, and we'll talk more about it here in the master plan, but I think that would be the front door, the new front gate to the park. That's the best connection to the city, and the north would be emergency access and maintenance, if we can limit it to that. But it also might have some use with the White River backing up and some of how the hydrology works in that area. It might be an access point for when the low areas are flooded.
That was one thing too, that when we had our workshops with community members, they very quickly tied into their pros and cons, what they liked, what they didn't like. That was one of the elements that came up that said, accessibility is gonna be a concern. Do we really wanna drive through the neighborhood on the north? Can we improve the front end from the south? But they also weighed in on the priority list, like what would help get people there first? Is it trails? Is it bike paths? And so we've started to kind of allocate our efforts towards what they feel like is the most suited right now. Some of that's low cost pieces, and then some of them will ramp up as they want more places. And so those sketches that Michael just showed start to get into things that might take everybody out of their comfort zone, like a coffee shop, or what if there is cabins up there for rent? What if there's different types of spaces, a lookout tower? And so what you will see is us dreaming a little bit, because again, we want to put this place more on the map at a bigger picture. Throughout everybody that we've talked to, whether it's mountain biking or climbing or river rafting, in every capacity, they have said, well, we need a place in the middle of Arkansas. We have Hot Springs, we've got Kohler in Northwest Arkansas, we've got a few things down in Little Rock, but what's here? For us, that's what we cued in and said, yeah, you're right. How do we draw in revenue for this community that it becomes a place where everybody wants to go? And so as we start to do inventory of what you have, it's about turning that button up even that much more and saying, well, how do we draw people here? Because you have a lot of people very interested in using it that are from here, but you have an even more picture of people saying, I just want to fly in for the day and ride my bike. Because I fly to Northwest Arkansas the other way, how can I stay here and do it? Or how can I fly here? Because I need a different type of trail or a different type of cliff to climb, which like Fitzgerald in Springdale is interesting because that rock face is very different than your rock face. but both have the same type of interest. And we're finding that people are asking that same question throughout the way.
So this is just in the master planning effort, looking at what your current inventory of amenities are out at Riverside Park. Everything from picnic benches to trash cans, restroom facility, playground, and then as we've gone through this, we've outlined how many there are. Let's quit working on it here. There we go. How many, and then a recommendation from us on whether or not we think it needs to stay in the master plan or whether it needs to go away. So for the restroom, for one example, would be that our recommendation is that we remove the restroom and do a new restroom facility. I think that one is looking very old and tired and has probably served its purpose. And then also in the context of where the different pieces land, that would be in the way. So that was our recommendation to remove that, and we've done that for each one of these pieces. The 2 pavilions that are out there currently, we think are indicative of a lot of Parks and Rec pavilions all over the state, and we think that they are valuable, and we'd like to work with them. I think there's something to be said of speaking to the past and the past of this place, and those structures are pretty unique, and we like those, so we're going to try and integrate those into the master plan. The overlook, we have some ideas on how that might be integrated into a larger amenity structure, so that is being proposed to be taken away. The mountain bike skills course that is relatively new that's up there, that's just going to be upgraded and is getting integrated into the trails master plan that is, as Richard said, is at about 90% right now in design.
I had a fraternity brother try to remove that restroom in the late 80s, but stopped.
That was a long time ago, so I think we got it.
That's how long it's been there.
Well, this goes back a little bit what Matt was talking about with, and I'm by trade a landscape architect and planning. I'm 5th generation in the Arkansas Delta, a little place called Bird Island. I live back here, raising my family now. And it's so interesting for me is Searcy is in the Little Red River is kind of like the gateway to the Arkansas Delta, so it's extremely exciting to be working on this project and with such leadership that has the vision to get ahead and move forward to make this an amenity for community, and not for the community, but for the region, quite frankly. So look at this. I studied this with Arkansas Game and Fish, the Little Red River, creating using the existing launches, and Riverside Park is being a destination or a takeout point where you can go day, you can float, trip, then fish from point A to point B. Well, let's look at it even bigger, right? So the Little Red River, as you go from Searcy to the White, or even we also work on a park called Riverside Park in Desert. It's 50 miles from Pierce Ferry to Searcy, another 50, I believe, from Searcy to the confluence, and then another 40 miles or so on down to the White River. So let's think of this as and I'm talking vision, big picture of exploration, and that's how big, and I just want you to see the hub of the potential of a venture hub with the Ozarks and the Arkansas Delta. And look at all the USA land along the Little Red as you move towards the White. It's really a wild land. So, and this, we'll fly through this, but just creating, as we go through this the updated master plan, think of these areas as like districts or neighborhoods within the site. So they all have a personality of their own, and as Michael and Josh mentioned, the new entry gateway from the south and moving your way up through the site. So I'm going to identify some of these, and we'll look at a little bit more. But the new park entrance, and then B, an outfitter overnight base camp. Really, if any of you looked at the original master plan, creating potential revenue to help create a sustainable development for maintenance and so forth, but maybe even generate some revenue. Having RV, overnight camping and so forth on this is a really advantageous piece, and that's the B area. I'm going to fly through this because I could talk about it forever. And then the river launch, we talked about at C, and then D, the top and kind of call it the crane fly as a tie-in to the fly fishing and the river ecology. It would be a hospitality hub. And of course, the trail system is a thread that connects all of these elements together as one. And we're going to jump into and look at B in a little bit more detail, where we jump to the trails.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So this is just a quick overview of some of the trails that are planned and some of the different skill levels. Some early flyover features, blues, greens. I'm being told that there could be some blacks or double blacks on there. So I think the summary is that the trail system is being designed to accommodate a variety of riders, not just one specific kind. So everything from beginners and NICA kids events, all the way up to experienced riders that are riding some of the best trail in the country to still attract them to this place. So I think enough trail to grow on for the local community, but also to attract people from the outside is my, as a non-trail builder, that's my understanding of how the trails are being developed, and our interface with that is making sure that the trail system is woven with the ecology of the place and the architecture and the infrastructure. We're trying to get all of that to start working together. So we'll be interfacing with Phil and his team a little bit on some of the structures, so that if you have a flyover structure or a wall ride structure, that it starts to look like it came from the same design hand as some of the buildings or the trash cans or the benches, or that this place has a brand and an identity that's uniquely Searcy.
And
Go ahead. Do you want to?
well, I was just going to reiterate that as we look at this, as we develop into the master plan, that this is a multi-year vision, y'all. This is the money that's allocated for this isn't going to fund the full vision, but it's important to have a multi-year vision. And then as we move out of this meeting, we're going to start looking at phasing and breaking out elements. And I wanted to follow that up on the bike trails, because bike trails is a phase one element. And so a lot of the elements that come out of maybe out of the master plan are probably going to be tied to a hub system or features that are tied to bringing folks in for those NICA events and so forth. And then we use that momentum to grow and look at the next phase of development that we want to do.
Can I reiterate something real quick? Because I think this is really important for all of us to grasp. And y'all have said it, but Searcy, where we're located and situated on the Little Red River, right? And having a park that has rock climbing, mountain biking, the opportunity for paddle sports and camping, that is within half mile from being at your city center restaurants and accommodations, is extremely unique. And we are lockstep with the state and their effort for outdoor recreation. And what we're seeing in Northwest Arkansas, not just Northwest Arkansas right now, but all around the state, because we're in lockstep and this is such a unique opportunity, we're being blessed with support, right, from the state and from others. And so as we're going through this master plan, we're talking about phasing. The opportunity for recreation and the downstream effects of that as far as economic development are substantial. So that's a really big deal as we're grasping all these elements and the programming and all that, is that this is a really good opportunity, a really substantial thing for Searcy and the region.
While other communities have some of these components, not one of them have all four of them like you do, which is river, bike, hospitality, climbing. So that is what captivated us from the start of this exercise, was as we met with each different, in interface, each different kind of specialty group, rock climbers, and each one of them, they started peeling back this onion and started to realize how actually deep that you guys can go into that hospitality piece.
I want to add one thing, and very well put, Mayor Faulkner. Also the fact that you are so close to connecting via trail to your downtown. It's going to be so important to get out in front of the general public and citizens of the safety and experience of arrival to this place like that. Otherwise, I mean, we're in a society that we get in our car and we go park at a place. It will get over inundated with parking, and we don't want to be modifying the master plan because we're trying to find more parking out there. So y'all are in a position to where you're going to be trail connected. I would push and make a big focus on arrival from families, anyone to go experience this.
Use some of the other amenities, like, when you have at the fairgrounds for parking, you jump right on trail, you go within
Yeah.
3 minutes. We talked about this for the NICA piece in particular. There's hundreds of students that would show up for a NICA event. You get all this influx of where they're gonna eat, where they're gonna stay, is it a 2-day event, things like that. So, you know, there's just these huge opportunities for economic growth.
Can I ask? Yeah. Are y'all aware of the Greers Fair Lake and Little Red River Tourism Association?
I'm not, no.
You need to reach out to them. I think they would be very, very interested in this. It's a tourism association, part of the state, of course, that consists of Van Buren County, Cleveland County, and White County, all the area of Greers Fair Lake and the Little Red River. They would be excited about this. I could give you the contact number.
That'd be
I know people that run it or operate it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Ask a stupid question with NICA.
Okay, NICA is kind of the K-12 student-led organization that does all the mountain biking. So if you have a young student enrolled into a NICA program, they're teaching mountain bike skills at those levels. It basically gets students very interested in mountain biking at very young ages, and they have NICA events that are races, and they're throttled based on skill levels and things like that. So.
Cersei doesn't have a NICA team right now, but like,
But if we get the trails.
That's the purple trail.
but there are NICA teams in the area, Cabot, there's some down in Little Rock, I think, maybe Batesville or Beaver, one of the other, there's one up in that area. So they will look for places to come and have their events. So even if Cersei, as we're building potentially a NICA program, we will still be able to host these events, which are, as they said, several hundred riders will come to these events.
You'll have that. It's that Conway, I think, has some of the bigger ones in the state right now, so it's a big deal.
I've got a grandson in Rogers, he's turned 4 a couple months ago. He already rides with a group of people, 4 years old. He's flying on that.
Well, and
It's a lot better than watching the screens, you know?
Yeah, well, and I grew up in the Arkansas Delta, and I'm working on a lot of projects in Northwest Arkansas. It's so important for our kids to have other options. And I think that you'd see kids carrying climbing gear to climb in Northwest Arkansas. Their dads have kids on mountain bikes, on striders without pedals, and they're teaching them at young ages. So I think that makes you a resilient community, and people want to be a part of this place when you have so many different options for the kids to do, instead of just your traditional sports.
Yeah.
May I ask a question, please? You know, you spoke of connectivity of this area to the Lower Red and the White River. But you know, there's a dam on both ends of this section of the river right there at that. Do you have any ideas on how boaters in that area can access the lower part of the river, and other boaters coming up can come up and access this area?
It's, you know, it's easier when you're talking about kayakers or canoeists than motor boats. It's a whole different situation. But we will have some portage type, you know, concepts, and that is a part of what needs to happen as far as that type of development. But we're not, this plan is more recreational, non-motorized recreational. So, you know, a lot of your existing motorized for trout fishing, it's really based on water levels, right? When you can move across that dam without having to deal with it.
Well, yeah, and there are certain times, if it's up a little bit, but not up enough, you have it going down in and going down many feet. You know, it's a dangerous situation until it gets up high enough that it
Yeah, and that's maybe a whole project on its own. We probably don't have time for it, but it's a very serious issue. I mean, I think that dam is basically there for the water treatment, the water plant and the intake, and to assure that you've got a certain amount of volume. It's something that needs to be addressed, for sure, of how, I can't tell you tonight.
It's just a dangerous situation, approach.
Right, well, especially when we start to add people, the amount of people that may be utilizing this river, it becomes a top of the chart of something to address, for sure.
Mr. Brewer, I do believe that Arkansas Game and Fish, they're looking at some dam removals and then also some ways to make this Blue Way Trail connected where boaters can get further down.
Dam removals, what will the, water utility?
No, not that particular
that.
one.
There's
There's some
another A
upstream.
little bit farther out.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Echo Dale, yeah, that one,
That we used to rely upon for water retention, but now that we have this one.
yeah,
But it is being looked into.
so, yeah, okay.
It would have to be a different constructed system than now, obviously, which is really a whole project in its own right.
I'm just tickled to see all of that land that we've had for a number of years gonna be used.
Well, we'll get
I'm
into it a little
excited
bit deeper, and we'll go pretty quickly because I know we've used a lot of your time. But this slide, you're wondering why we're showing a picture of a crane fly. We're on the architecture side. We're looking for some inspiration as we start to design building structures, pavilions, restrooms, and start to look for ways to tie it to this place. And I think our collective conscious has we can all relate to a crane fly. Whether you spend any time in the woods or outdoors, everybody knows what these little critters are, and they've been around us. So we've started to look at them just for its structure and what kind of cues or lessons can we learn from the crane fly, and how can that start to inform maybe something about how we put a structure together that's a little bit different and unique. And we're not trying to build crane flies out there, but we're looking for some lessons and a way to make this place unique and look a little bit different than some of the Parks and Rec competition that's happening around the state. And there's a lot of competition happening right now, and we want to try and figure out a way to put Searcy on the map. So, we're just looking at, legs, motion, wing, tectonic, translucent, body, stereotomic, of the earth, and opaque. And you'll see how this starts to translate in some of these places here in a minute. I'll let Martin talk about the lower area real quick.
Yeah, we looked at three different areas, and this is the lower one, south one, obviously with new entrance and existing, we're calling fishing pond. So creating some fishing access down to the existing pond. We really believe the true special aspect is in that base camp piece when you get up and over and in, because you lose the traffic noise and so forth. Now there's challenges there as well, and I'll address it quickly. But so the different districts I talked about is like let's turn that borrow pond into an amenity, and obviously would take a control structure to create a normal pool elevation. So when the river is low, it holds water, and then of course the backflow of the White River comes up and floods the entire area. So that lower section will be underwater, and we're looking at how much usability can we get out of that. But you've got elements of a bike pavilion, a hub that would be the gathering place for those NICA events, a base camp piece, I think it's number 11 there, a facility with the parking, which is up on the upper ridge. All of that revenue generating aspects are up out of that flooded zone, which are could be some pull through Class A RV, Sprinter vans, Class B and C, and that's all that number 13, 14, 15, and so forth. Down at 8, we got some walk-in. Those are elevated platform, tent platform, walk-in camping, bathhouses. You got day use area, and obviously we talked about 21, which is really its own project. I mean, it would literally take kind of a miniature lockdown system, that would allow boats to come in and move from elevation from one to another. It really would to be able to facilitate that. 6, a boardwalk, and get you down to that borrow pond, and we'll keep moving because I know that time is. And this is quickly kind of that hydrology aspect, and we want to look at that borrow pond, and Mayor Faulkner, this is our site visit out there. We talked about this a lot, so I wanted to address it a little bit over the last couple of weeks. With the control structure, we can set an elevation to hold a normal pool, so that's an amenity even when the river's low like it is now. Now, it won't have a connectivity to the river, but it still would be an amenity. And then you're gonna have this other zone where you do have a connectivity to the river, and it's in kind of a sweet spot. Now, when the White River is up, that blue area there is going to inundate that entire lower zone. It's just a reality. There's nothing we can do about that. We just need to plan around it and make sure that we know. We're working now on kind of looking at, you know, how many days of the year is that historically would that be? And that's why the north exit or entry is, we need to keep it, because at that system right there, if you had folks in the park, they're still safe, they can stay there, they still have access in and out, but that south entry would have to be closed. It's a weird hydrology system.
So these pictures will accompany each one of the kind of base areas, and these are not pictures of what we want to build. They're really about pictures of maybe potential experience, maybe some feelings that we're trying to convey in these places. So these are all kind of AI generated images based on prompts that we've given it. So on the left is about being, you know, amongst the Ozarks, the bluff lines, with a light canopy above. So you can imagine that type of a space at like a visitor center arrival place where you're trying to find information and you're wanting to rent a kayak, or you're wanting to go and check into your campsite, that type of experience, that type of a place. The middle one is about maybe the tents along the river edge and how they glow at nighttime with camp lights in them, or restroom facilities. And then the one on the right is, you know, what does it feel like to be elevated slightly and adjacent to and maybe a little bit above the river? What does that experience, what would that be like to be able to stay there and spend a few days there? So again, we're wanting to think about experience and feeling of the place, and then how that will then start to translate into architecture as we tackle each phase of the master plan. And again, some fantastical, maybe imaginary images of, again, what, you know, trying to get some emotion into this place and think about what it means to be there. And then some sketches that are from our hand about tent platforms, what those look like, borrowing some geometry from the crane fly and trying to take a first step at translating some of what we've learned into some of the structures that we're looking at.
Can you go back, I think about 4 slides back, if you would, right there. Is the one on the right, is that the river?
That would be an image implying that the river, in that engagement of some sort of architecture, would be like that. That is not in context of what it is out there right now, but that's a similar kind of
I thought that was a river at a very low level, that facility would not be elevated near enough. I've seen that river rolling through there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just precedent imagery of it.
Okay, thank you.
And one of the biggest things is creating identity. I think for us, it's important to nail down that identity, because as it becomes a place, much like you may have seen with Garvin Woodland Gardens becomes on the Arkansas tourist commercials, you'll see identity through things. Architecture starts to associate with people with place. And so for us, with the crane fly, things about the river identifies what Searcy is. That's different than other places. And so each one of these hubs, if you will start to have that. This is the upper hub, and to dive into that, we see that more as potential hospitality driven. So can you imagine a coffee shop or a bike store or a place of observation, so something vertical in nature? One of the most unique features from anywhere that we talked about is you have bluffs, and bluffs that look down on that river. And we think that could be a big opportunity, whether it's a restaurant, a coffee shop, a place to go propose to your loved one, a place to stay, that you have an opportunity to do something absolutely unique. And so these next few images start to show off just potential. Again, using kind of techniques of AI and us rendering and playing with it, the idea that this amenity would have kind of a signature on that bluff, whether it's an observation tower that you can traverse and watch people climb, which is unlike anything in the state. I mean, you think about Hawksbill Crag, you think about Sam's Throne. There's places to climb, but where do you get to observe that? Where do you get to teach it? How do you have a place to start to do this? And whether it feels like in the middle image, a place of a restaurant looking out, capturing, early morning views, or the fog rolling off the river. One of the things that we always try to do in any of these images is put you in a place that makes you feel of this place. Not a lot of people get to experience what 6 a.m. looks like in the summer, when it's a warm day coming, but that river's cool, and what that air feels like. We want people to experience those things. And then these are just other images of us thinking about how that engages the river in the cliff itself.
Again, that's not in your phase one budget.
And these are obviously just sketches that tie that in. One of the things that you'll see even in the bottom right is just the way we think about the architecture and the geometry of that architecture. You're going to have structure, you're going to have different things that start to play that. So how does those detailing come back to that identity piece?
I think we can, and I'll just touch on this, but we're also, Danny Collins and with EDG, he also owns 37 North Expeditions, is working on the experience and operational aspect. So this needs to be an economic hub of outdoor recreation. So you'll have guidelines that will align with the phasing that we recommend to be able to execute some of those type of things. Maybe it's just the climbing gear and the mountain bike rental, different things like that. But then I think you could grow into larger river expeditions and so forth. So I think that's super exciting, and I just want you to know that that's something else that we are working on within the master planning process. This is some of the things that Danny came up with, different experience. I mean, the way that you experience a place means all. So, and it's important for us to have that right.
You have to have the ability to facilitate it. Like, it's one thing to build it and think they will come, but when they get here, how are they going to experience it on a day-to-day? And how do you curate these experiences for people that have no skill set? I've never kayaked before. How do I do that? Being able to help teach them the right way and the safe way to do things. And so Danny's been really great to work with because he understands all levels of engagement. What does it feel like to sign up and book your corporate retreat here, and how do you go and stay in the cabins? But while we're here, we're going to do mountain biking one day we're going to do tent camping, next day we're going to do kayaking. And so it's about that curating of experience as much as anything, whether you stumble on it from a day-to-day or you become, Walmart that comes to town for the weekend and has a corporate retreat. What does that feel like? It could be any industry, but we really want to make sure that it's one that is a destination-driven place.
Those are all the slides we had for you tonight. I'm sorry we went long, but we appreciate
We're
your.
only 3 minutes over.
We are very passionate about it. We're excited about this project, and hopefully that shines through in our efforts and what we've been doing. So go ahead.
Yeah, we just want to thank you for your time, for letting us share that with you. We're excited about your community, and we're excited to be a part of it. So thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Good work. Thank you all very much. Appreciate y'all making the trip down from Fayetteville.
You bet. No sweat.
One thing I did want to mention that Josh had kind of teased, we haven't really talked about a lot, and Martin had mentioned it too, is one of the things we tasked these guys with is this kind of new visioning of what this park can be is the name. And it, for 2 reasons really. One is, I think everybody who knows Riverside Park has lived here a long time. Some of the things we're fighting is that the old kind of thoughts of what Riverside Park used to be. And then this new vision of what it could be, it's a good time to maybe, start fresh with that. The other thing is just practicality of, like, as Martin said, there's a Riverside Park they're working on in Desark. You would be, or you're probably not surprised how many Riverside Parks there are in this state alone. But they're everywhere. I mean, like, Riverside Parks are everywhere. So if we want to be unique and we want to stand out, we want this to be something probably called different than Riverside Park. And so we kind of challenged them, as Josh kind of joked about, winning some Cersei socks potentially, but we challenged them to kind of start thinking. Let's have some sessions. And so at some point in time, we might bring that back to y'all as well on what that might come up with. we're looking at that as well. It's just kind of a whole new refresh, rebrand at this part, so.
Richard, I'd say, that'd be kind of a fun thing to do, you do with, when you rename your teams, to have a contest to get the community's ideas, throw
Let
them
them
out there.
embrace it and get excited behind it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Tremendous work. Thank you very much.
You guys happen to know my buddy Greg Zedford, he has the bike shop. Don't get me started. Greg Zedford, well, he's got that bike shop in South Carolina.
We can call
He's
them.
really helped you guys.
All right, we're gonna move right along. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate it. Item number 11, approval of qualified firms for the 2026 General Architectural, Engineering, Planning, and Land Surveying Services.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Rainey, a second by Mr. Cargill. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Kirkman?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Cargill?
Yes.
Mrs. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Rainey?
Yes.
Mr. Brewer?
Yes.
Mr. Schallenberg?
Yes.
Item number 12 is approval to advertise an RFQ for the RAISE grant. We have a motion by Mrs. Hale,
Second.
second by Mr. Cargill. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Cargill?
Yes.
Mrs. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Rainey?
Yes.
Mr. Brewer?
Yes.
Mr. Schallenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman?
Yes.
Item number 13, approval authorizing the mayor to negotiate a contract with the recommended firm for the LED lighting upgrades. This pertains to the grant.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Rainey, a second by Mr. Brewer. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Cargill?
Yes.
Mrs. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Rainey?
Yes.
Mr. Brewer?
Yes.
Mr. Schallenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Item number 14 is a resolution, lien certified to the tax collector against certain properties in Searcy as a result of grass cutting expenses and abatement of other nuisances.
Motion to adopt the resolution.
We have a motion by Mr. Morris,
Second.
second by Mr. Cargill. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Cargill?
Yes.
Mrs. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Rainey?
Yes.
Mr. Brewer?
Yes.
Mr. Schallenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Item number 15 is a resolution to enter into an agreement with Kimley Horn for the Safe Streets for All Safety Action Plan. This is also a grant.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Rainey, second by Mr. Brewer. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Rainey?
Yes.
Mr. Brewer?
Yes.
Mr. Schallenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Cargill?
Yes.
Item number 16 is also a resolution to enter into an agreement with Davidson Engineering for engineering services pertaining to the trail design for the RDOT TAP grant trail connecting Searcy Bike Trail to Riverside Park.
Motion to adopt.
We have a motion by Mr. Morris, second by Mrs. Hale. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Rainey?
Yes.
Mr. Brewer?
Yes.
Mr. Schallenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Cargill?
Yes.
Mrs. Hale?
Yes.
Item number 17 is the budget adjustment ordinance.
Maybe we suspend the rules and read by title only.
We have a motion by Mr. Rainey, a second by Mr. Brewer. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Brewer?
Yes.
Mr. Schallenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Cargill?
Yes.
Mrs. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Rainey?
Yes.
An ordinance adopting the budget, yeah, that's the wrong one, bear with me, I'm looking at your,
You're good.
you have a copy of that, but this-
We did.
I apologize, y'all, I had it sitting there in the wrong one. Here you go. An ordinance amending ordinance 2026-01, the budget for the city of Searcy for the calendar year 2026, waiving the requirement of competitive bidding with respect to certain expenditures, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
A motion to adopt the ordinance.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Schallenberg. A second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Rainey. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Schallenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Cargill?
Yes.
Mrs. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Rainey?
Yes.
Mr. Brewer?
Yes.
The need to maintain the physical affairs of the city of Searcy in accordance with the requirement of law being necessary for the preservation of public peace, health, safety, and welfare. An emergency is hereby declared, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect
Thank
from
you.
and after its passage.
We have a motion to adopt.
emergency clause.
We have a motion by Mr. Morris. And second by Mrs. Hale. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Kirkman?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Cargill?
Yes.
Mrs. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Rainey?
Yes.
Mr. Brewer?
Yes.
Mr. Schallenberg?
Yes.
All right, that's the last of our agenda items we already addressed. The addition of item number 18. Any further comments?
Why couldn't we go this fast at Christmas?
I know, we're getting faster. We are adjourned. Thank y'all for being here.
Mr. Rainey, I was just trying to help you out over there, but both.
All right.